The clatter of weights and the hum of treadmills filled the air of Iron Forge Gym, one of the most popular fitness centers in town. To most people, it was just another place to sweat and show off. But for Michael Trent, it was a sanctuary, a small, daily battle against the ghosts that refused to leave him. He was a single dad, a former soldier, and a man who had seen things no one should. His left arm bore the scars of shrapnel, a reminder of the ambush that took his unit and nearly his life. His back was a roadmap of burns, his face marked by a faint scar that ran from his temple to his jawline. Most people didn't ask. Some stared. Others whispered. He ignored them. Michael's mornings started before dawn. He'd drop his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, at school, then head straight to the gym before reporting to his job at a security firm. The gym regulars called him Quiet Mike. He didn't talk much, didn't brag, didn't care to fit in. One Tuesday morning, the gym was busier than usual. A new group of fitness influencers had joined, loud, confident, and obsessed with themselves. They were live streaming their workouts, joking, laughing, filling the air with chatter. As Michael walked past them toward the squat rack, one of the guys, tall, blonde, overconfident, noticed him. "Hey, bro," the guy said, smirking, "you sure you're in the right place? Scars like that belong in a war movie, not a gym." The others laughed. Michael didn't respond. He simply loaded the barbell, his expression blank. "Oh, come on, man," another chimed in. "You can't blame us for being curious. What happened? Lose a fight with a lawnmower?" More laughter. Michael exhaled slowly. He wasn't angry, just tired. He'd heard worse before. Words didn't bother him. What bothered him was how casual cruelty had become. He turned to them and said quietly, something like that. Then he got under the bar, squatted deep, and rose with perfect form, 400 pounds moving like it was nothing. The laughter faded. Still, they whispered behind his back as he moved through his routine. By the time he was done, sweat dripping down his neck, the gym's door opened, and a woman stepped in. She was striking, tall, with sharp eyes and the kind of posture that demanded respect. Her hair was pulled back into a tight bun, and her workout clothes were plain but immaculate. Her name tag read, Jen. Evelyn Parker. The air seemed to shift when she entered. Even the loud group toned down. She was a known figure, one of the youngest female generals in the country, temporarily stationed in town for a veterans leadership program. She walked toward the front desk, greeted the manager, and began stretching near the training area. Michael noticed her but didn't react. He'd seen officers before, some good, some arrogant. Evelyn Parker looked like someone who carried the weight of command easily, someone who'd been through fire and refused to break. He respected that. As she warmed up, one of the influencer guys, the blonde one, saw a chance to impress. "Morning, General," he said, walking up to her with a grin. "If you ever need a personal trainer, I'd be happy to." She cut him off with a cool, amused glance. "I'm good, thanks, but if I ever need a comedian, I'll let you know." The gym chuckled. The guy backed off, pretending not to care. Meanwhile, Michael finished his set and began to re-rack the weights. His t-shirt, soaked through, clung to his back, revealing a glimpse of the tattoo between his shoulders. It was a black, faded design, an insignia shaped like a skull with wings, crossed knives beneath it, and the number, 191, etched below. The moment Evelyn Parker caught sight of it, she froze mid-stretch. Her eyes widened slightly, the calm, confident expression cracking just enough to show shock. She took a step forward. "Excuse me," she said quietly. Michael turned. "Yes, ma'am. Your tattoo, that's the mark of the 191st Recon Unit." "Ghost Hawks." He nodded slowly. "Yes, ma'am." Her voice dropped. "That unit was wiped out in Kandahar 8 years ago." Michael looked down, his expression unreadable. "Almost wiped out." A long silence followed. The influencers exchanged glances, sensing something significant but not understanding. Evelyn took another step closer. "Who was your CO?" "Captain Rhodes," Michael replied softly. "He didn't make it." Her breath hitched. "You're Michael Trent." He frowned slightly. "You know me. I read the reports," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You were listed MIA for 6 months. Everyone assumed you were dead." "I almost was," he said simply. The entire gym had gone silent now. The group who'd mocked him earlier stood awkwardly near the dumbbell rack, trying to look invisible. Evelyn's face softened. You were the one who pulled 3 men out of that ambush, weren't you? Michael's eyes clouded. Only 2 made it. She swallowed, visibly moved. I trained under Captain Rhodes. He used to talk about his best recon specialist, said you could move through fire without making a sound. Michael said nothing. He just gave a quiet nod and began wiping down the barbell. But Evelyn wasn't done. Trent, she said firmly, you're a hero. Why haven't you rejoined the program? You should have been honored years ago. Michael gave a bitter smile. I'm just a dad now. My daughter needs me more than the army does. The influencers exchanged uneasy glances. The blonde one, who'd made the scar joke, looked pale. Hey, man, he mumbled, stepping forward awkwardly. I didn't know. Michael shrugged. Didn't expect you to. Evelyn turned sharply toward the young man. You think scars are something to laugh at? Her voice was cold, cutting through the gym like a blade. Every mark on that man's body represents someone who didn't make it home. You mock that, you mock every soldier who's ever bled for this country. The guy lowered his head, mumbling an apology. Evelyn looked back at Michael. If you ever change your mind, the Veterans Outreach Program would be honored to have you. You've got too much experience to fade into the background. He nodded politely. Appreciate it, ma'am. She studied him for a moment longer, then smiled, a rare, genuine smile. You're exactly the kind of man we need more of, Trent. As she walked away to begin her workout, whispers filled the gym, not mocking this time, but reverent. People looked at Michael differently now. The quiet man they'd ignored or ridiculed had suddenly become someone legendary. But to him, nothing had changed. He went back to his sets, steady and focused. After the workout, as he grabbed his bag, Evelyn approached again. You have a daughter, right? Yeah, he said. Lily. 8 years old. She's lucky, Evelyn said softly. Most heroes never get the chance to be fathers. Michael gave a small smile. She's the reason I'm still here. Evelyn nodded. We're holding a memorial next week for Captain Rhodes in the 191 Street. Would you come? It would mean a lot to the unit, and to me. Michael hesitated, memories flooding back, fire, screams, the blinding desert sun. He hadn't been to a memorial since the day he came home. But then he thought of Lily, of teaching her what courage and loyalty really meant. He nodded. I'll be there. The next week, the memorial was held at the military base just outside town. Rows of flags lined the field, and families of fallen soldiers filled the seats. Evelyn stood at the podium, addressing the crowd with grace and strength. When she called Michael's name, the audience murmured, "The lost ghost hawk," the man thought dead. Michael walked to the stage, his posture straight, his eyes steady. Evelyn pinned a small medal to his chest, not for show, not for politics, but for the men he saved and the courage he carried. Afterward, as the ceremony ended, Lily ran up and threw her arms around his waist. Daddy, everyone clapped for you, she said, beaming. He smiled down at her. They were really clapping for my friends, sweetheart. The ones who couldn't come home. Evelyn watched the moment quietly, her own eyes misting. When Michael turned, she extended her hand. Thank you, for everything. You remind people what service really means. He shook her hand. Thank you for remembering us. Later that evening, back at the gym, the same group of influencers was working out again. But this time, when Michael entered, they didn't snicker or whisper. They nodded in silent respect. The blonde guy, the one who had mocked him first, even walked over, hesitant. Hey, man, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. You didn't deserve what I said. Michael looked at him, then smiled faintly. It's all right. Just remember, people carry battles you can't see. The young man nodded solemnly. As Michael started his warm-up, Evelyn entered the gym again. Their eyes met briefly across the room, a silent acknowledgement, a connection forged in shared history. For the first time in years, Michael felt something shift inside him, a small piece of peace, hard-earned and fragile. He'd spent years trying to forget who he was. But maybe, he realized now, the scars weren't reminders of pain, they were proof of survival. As he lifted the barbell once more, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the mirror. The scar on his face, the ink on his back, the strength in his arms, all of it told one story: he was still standing. And that was enough. The whispers around him had changed. No one mocked him anymore. No one saw just the scars. They saw the soldier. the survivor, the father. And in that quiet, iron-scented gym, as weights clanged and sweat dripped, Michael Trent, the man once written off as broken, stood tall again, carrying the invisible flag of every fallen comrade who lived on through him. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was living.